Alright, welcome back, guys. So, the purpose of this video this time is a little bit different. And it is akin to the fact that everyone that I've seen do videos for this, you know, it's just like Fallout 4 is a split thing. It's relatively confusing on how well this game is received. For example, you have people who are playing the game, doing walkthroughs like myself, and people are watching it, people are receiving it. But you also have people on YouTube who are talking unforeseen amounts of crap. Now, before I get into any longer details, though, all of this video right now will just be my opinion, and all of it will be the upgrading, customization of guns, as well as settlement shit. Because what this actually is me upgrading guns to give to the people in my settlement. So I'm not 100% sure if you have to give them ammo. I did not do that. I just gave them the guns. I made better versions of guns from just exploring, and then I gave those to the different people in the settlements. Some of them got some armor. I didn't really get too much armor. Because I'm not sure how that works. If they're, like, can your settlement be destroyed? I'm not exactly sure how that works. Well, I should say, can it be overrun? Can everyone in your settlement be killed? You have to start from scratch. I know that the stuff in your settlement can be destroyed. I know that much for a fact. But I do not know, however, if that it can be destroyed. Well, if people can be killed, and because I know you can. You as the, although I guess maybe it's the only reason why is because they're named protagonists. Well, they're named characters, so they might be important. But I know you can't kill the people in Sanctuary. At least the first people. I haven't tried to kill them since. The only reason I even tried is because the chick was pissing me off. That one dude's wife, she was so annoying. Anyway, so a lot of people are complaining about the game. Now, go away, Mama Murphy. So I wanted to warn you guys what you're going to be seeing. But a lot of people are complaining that, there are a lot of problems and blah, 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 blah. Now, Bethesda games are amazing. Let me be the first to say this. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, Oblivion, they're amazing. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth and say that they did this one, but I think Bethesda had, actually, you know what, I have the game. I own the game. Because I know Arcane Studios did it, but I'm not sure if that was connected to, yep, Bethesda. Dishonored. Thought so. The loveliness of having the game cases lined up in such a way that it doesn't matter. You can look. Anyway, so my thing is, it's like, Bethesda has been known to make amazing looking games that overall captivate audiences. Now, Dishonored to me kind of was short and it didn't look as good as it could be, and it was not nearly as, truth be told, Dishonored was hard and long if you want to be stealthy. For me, because I suck at stealth. But this is not about Dishonored. This is about Bethesda Fallout 4. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, all of these games hate annoying ass glitches, bugs when the game comes out. And Bethesda has a track record for buggy games when it comes out. Now, because I usually get my games much later into their lifespan, Bethesda's fixed all those problems. But there's still some that remain. The only problem that I've found in Fallout 4 is the camera in dialogue sometime and voice syncs. None of these are big problems. I think that a lot of the problem with people is we've been spoiled by the Order 1880. I don't have that game, but I think it's the 1886 or 1890 something. Actually, you know what? Yes, I do. 86. I was right. We've been spoiled by the Order 1886 and games of that nature where they're gorgeous. I won't lie. When I first saw the Order 1886, that game was amazing looking. But after watching a Let's Play of it, I would never play it. Because it's movie quality. Yes, it looks like a movie to me. The effects on it, particle effects, lighting, that's like ultra high graphics, top cinematic EMBs on a modded Skyrim. It was amazing looking. It was gorgeous. But the gameplay wasn't good to me. It was a cover-to-cover third-person shooter. Gears of War did it, Grand Theft Auto did it, Call of Duty. No, my bad. Didn't mean to say Call of Duty. I know that's a first-person shooter. I meant to say Mafia 2 did it. So, looks to me isn't amazing. Because one of the best games ever to me is still Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And San Andreas looks like shit. A true game transcends how it looks and is important off of how it plays and the characters involved. Okay, there's people running outside my house. But yeah, it's about the characters who's in the game, the narrative it tells, the gameplay, all of it is important. Not just how it looks. One of the biggest comments that people get off this game is, this game does not look as good as we expected. Shut the fuck up, people. People, please shut the fuck up with that. You do not know how annoying this is. Do you look at can you look at what I'm doing right now? I'm modifying my gun. Fallout New Vegas had that type of stuff. But here's the problem with New Vegas. Once you put a mod on your gun, it's done. It's gone forever. That mod's on that gun. You can't get that gun without it unless you buy the gun again. Here, I can take that mod off, put that mod on, take that mod off. I can interchange my mods. So when I inevitably get a stronger version of the gun, I can take the same mods that I already paid for and put them on that version. You see that a lot throughout my Let's Play. Walkthrough, gameplay, whatever you want to call it. When I get, let's say, a legendary weapon, well, a rare weapon or whatever you call them, off of a legendary enemy. I ended up getting a penetrating laser musket or a penetrating laser rifle, something. I know I got two of them, two laser things, but I took the same mods that I had got from other guns and threw it onto that to make that one legendary even better. You couldn't do that in Fallout New Vegas. That just wasn't happening. Fallout 3, it wasn't a shooter. It definitely was not a shooter. Fallout 3 was use VATS, because if you use anything other than VATS, you're probably going to have a hard time. For me. First off, because of bullet spread. And I don't even know if that's in this game. But
what are you building?
Problem is, there's recoil. Yes, I get recoil. But Fallout has had bullet spread, which is something I don't think is common. Where you shoot, but your bullet does not go in the same location. Because as it comes out the barrel, it just goes in a random location. And your bullet spread becomes lower as you get higher gun skill. But bullet spread is still in the game. Another problem is it has recoil. So when you have recoil and bullet spread, it's just like, damn, I'm double the reason not to use nothing. Whatchamacallit. So I just prefer VATS. Fallout New Vegas made it a little bit easier with the ability to ADS, aiming down sights. That was a very beneficial thing, and a lot of people was able to play it as a first-person shooter again. Personally, in Fallout 3, I think playing as a third-person shooter is almost impossible. But I feel like it was able to be done as a third-person or first-person shooter in Fallout New Vegas, or depending upon your tactics. But in turn, this game can be a third-person, can be a first-person shooter. And this has many, many great attributes of a shooter. All of the things that people are modding into New Vegas and 3, it's based in this game, The other thing I have to complain about is there's no ammo creation. Because creating ammo is kind of important. And you would think if you can make guns to this high caliber, you should be able to make different types of ammo. But one of the other things that this game actually doesn't do, which is why I kind of understand why it's not as important to them, is there aren't different types of ammo. Of course, each gun uses a different type in that a Magnum uses 44, a 10mm pistol uses 10mm rounds, a minigun uses 5mm rounds. I get that, but there's not armor-piercing 5mm rounds. Hollow points, explosive rounds, cryo rounds, all these type of things, EMP rounds, all these mods that were created. Because the base game supported different ammo types. The hotkey, like you couldn't have an upwards hotkey because that was the switch ammo type button. That was default in Fallout New Vegas. So, I mean, this game, you know, a mod puts armor piercing on. But there's not like, you know, the only gun with different types of ammo types is the syringer, to my knowledge, which I have not found. Which, you know, you have poison syringe to hurt your enemies. You could have a healing syringe. You could shoot your comrades from afar, which is kind of nice. But overall, this game is it's a very good game to me. A lot of people downing this game for truly trivial things. You know, I can't get past Angry Joe, and usually it's my go-to reviewer. Gave the game a 7 out of 10. And it's tripped because as I'm doing this, I'm going towards the walk, well, his review. I want to, because there were points of it and I didn't write it down, and I'm sad to say I didn't write it down. But there are certain parts that I'm going to want to pick through. So even as I'm making this video, I'm watching his, because there are things that he said that I can't necessarily agree with. So as soon as the ad ends, we'll get to that. And one of, that's one of them. The guy said that it was made off of an old engine. You know, it's made off the Skyrim engine. Bury the hatchet, let it go away. Well, here's my question. Had Bethesda did that, had Bethesda did that, right? Had they not used Skyrim's engine, which is the best engine that they had at the time, because if you recall, Fallout 4 has been in development since Fallout New Vegas, I think, if not before that. So there wasn't a new engine. There was not next gen yet. They didn't have access to next gen yet, to my knowledge. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth and say that they didn't. But to my how I'm assuming they did. So how people are sitting there like, well, it didn't look as good because they're on this engine, blah, 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 blah. Well, had they not been on this engine, we damn near wouldn't have got this game this soon. We wouldn't have got it. It would have been years from now. When they released this at E3, it wouldn't have said 2015. It said 2016 or 2017. Why? Because they waited to develop a new engine. This engine isn't the Crytek engine. This isn't the Unreal engine. These aren't beautiful, gorgeous, spectacular engines. But if we look at Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, those games look like shit compared to Fallout 4. Honestly, this Fallout 4, Skyrim does not look like shit compared to Fallout 4. And we get so nitpicky because we zoom in on small little renderings. I understand there are times, and I've only seen this one time, to where a whole area just was not rendered. Like, it took a little bit for the whole area to render, because it was purple. It had a purple ground and a pink tube. I get that. But when you're talking a tiny little texture isn't rendered perfectly, let's look at Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which is arguably one of the best Grand Theft Autos, if not the best to most people. It is shit for textures. When it didn't render, it was just a screen. It was just a white screen. It was just a blank screen at that point. It wasn't even loaded in. But we're cutting it slack. We have to get past, as gamers, the graphics of it. A game should be a game because it looks good. Now, I'm going to say that Bethesda does have buggy AI, but when you have so much AI to program, yeah. Now, my thing is, and he makes a valid point as I'm watching this, that being that your companions are dumb as bricks. Your companions are dumb ass fucking bricks. I will not flex with. I agree 100%. Companions are dumb as bricks in Fallout. However, it's just like, it's not easy to do it, and a lot of us complain about it. And one of my biggest things, like I said, is graphics. People are complaining that it doesn't look good, but it's like, had they waited to make this game look like the Order 1886, first off, if you look at the size on your fucking PS4, the shit would have said 77 gigs. Mortal Kombat on my PS4 now burns 40 gigs because Mortal Kombat is such a detailed graphical game. Grand Theft Auto, I think, burned 60 on my PS4. 60 gigs. Destiny is constantly updating. It is not easy to keep games at reasonable sizes whilst having open massive worlds. There are some blank areas, and in this game I really feel like there aren't none. The game is dynamic. This game is dynamic. This game is changing, and it has evolved. There was an area, the Thicket Excavations to be exact. This is one of the few areas that I'm going to directly mention. You go there, at first the dude's like, alright, do this, turn the water pump on, then get money, and then leave. When you come back, because I did go back, spoiler alert, mute the video right now if you don't want to hear this, but by the time you get back there, it's a bunch of fucking raiders. How many Fallouts do that? How many Fallouts have uniqueness where areas respawn or repopulate, because that's kind of important. Because if you kill everything in the area and there's no real danger of returning, you go back the second time and loot everything. You can proverbially farm an early area forever. And they do scale some. I really feel like they scale some in terms of what they drop. Because when I first went through the Corvega assembly plant, all that they dropped was some cheap Raider shit. Non-upgraded. Barely upgraded. I went through again, they had tempered shit and hardened shit and lightweight, pocketed, all of this type of shit. Guns had mods on it. I feel like they did that to combat the whole you go through an area, you never go through it again because there's no reason to go through it. All of the shit that you're seeing me do now is because of Corvega's respawn. Because Corvega respawn, I was able to go through, pick up Tommy guns, a bunch of them, a bunch of relatively upgraded pipe rifles. Now, I know a lot of people, he's talking right now about how they're animated. I like it. I like the animations. I feel like it could be polished a little bit more, but it could be worse. Because if you remember Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, most of their faces were stiff as fuck. They were stiff. It was like you were talking to a robot. At least they are trying to put life into it. And a lot of people, and this is the problem, they're comparing their games to other games outside of their franchise and barely giving the game credit for what it was trying to do. Bethesda ain't trying to fucking keep up with fucking Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Bethesda has their market. Bethesda ain't keeping up with these motherfuckers. They are in their lane. Now you can argue that yeah they are, because Far Cry and Fallout are kind of similar. Open world first person shooters with RPG mechanics. Well, true, but who's been here first? He's talking about loading screens, which I 100% agree with. Loading screens in this game is horrible. But the game is huge, so I can get past it, as long as they're not abundant. I can deal with a lot of short loading screens or very few long ones. And thankfully, I don't really deal with a lot of long ones. Dishonored, you can say, oh, well, that's just Assassin's Creed. When did Assassin's Creed get magic? And why? When they started throwing magic into Assassin's Creed via the pieces of Eden, it became like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be a stealth game. And in that case, Assassin's Creed is the fucking Witcher. Actually, that reminds me of a funny thing that The Witcher did. It's like, this is what happens if you actually did that shit. It looked like an assassin just in a haystack, dead. And I got The Witcher 3. It was on sale. Black Friday deal for PlayStation. Anyway, I keep going off into tangents. Point is, People keep talking about this game and pointing out all the flaws, all the negatives, all the downsides. But then we don't take into account the good things, the pluses, the positives, the strides. Junk is important. We used to pick up junk to take it to go sell it for 2 caps. Now, I do feel I must honestly say that in terms of caps, I'm having a hard time. You have to. I will say that doing a jack of all trades and a master of none build in Fallout 4, it is hard. It is hard in terms of money, but I feel like it's rewarding in the long haul. See, this is where she's talking about how they're just trying to extend this fucking engine, and this isn't their best effort. And yes, there are glitches. Bethesda has always had glitches, but to tell me that this wasn't a good thing from Bethesda, that it doesn't feel like their best effort. Look at Fallout 30. Look at Fallout New Vegas. Shit is different. You know how hard it is to make a game, because trust me, I wrote books. They ain't easy. It ain't easy being an author. I have a new appreciation for all those people. Stephanie Meyer, I think that was the person who wrote Twilight. Massive ass books, and I may be wrong about that. I did not like Twilight, so I only bring it up because that is an author that I know wrote some huge ass books. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, I could have used it, but I didn't think about it at the time. But those books are huge. I have a new appreciation for it. Until you've made a game, you guys, people don't understand what it's like. Now he's talking about how perks and stuff work. And like I said, and mind you, hold on, before we go any further, I'm not saying that his review is not fair, because I agree with some of his points. My only flaw with him is the fact that he's complaining about the engine. Angry Joe's complaint about the engine is my only complaint with his review. And anything else that may pop up, I will probably mention if it is time. But that's my only direct problem with it. Now, I do feel one more thing. Yeah, I think that the settlements are kind of, I don't know if that was a padding thing, because you're going to take a lot of time to get shit done. So I don't know if that was just an hour extender because of the smaller time, or the smaller map. I don't know. But what I'm going to say is this. The game, we got to get past the aesthetics of this game. Going into the skills, a lot of people complain about how the skills were gone. Gun skill gone, this skill gone, that skill gone. Well, imagine this. First off, we complained that we couldn't continue after the game. They let us do that finally. Now, that was a valid complaint. I don't know why the fuck they did that in Fallout 3. Well, I know why they did it in the story of Fallout 3. Fine. After Fallout 3, they should have realized to never do that shit again. It makes people mad. Fallout New Vegas should have never did that. Fallout 4, thank God, didn't do it. Sure. However, in those games, you had level caps, and the DLC increased those level caps. There was level 20 level caps, and then it would get increased to level 50 to play afterwards and play DLCs. I don't know how DLCs work. I really don't like the idea of DLC being, once you start this, you must keep going through it. I don't really like that type of DLC, but it's not the worst type. Because the only other worst type of DLC is the one that says beat the game first. And that's one of those reasons why I say I don't like the whole you can't leave once you start it, because if you want to go pick up one early game item after that DLC because you're low level and it'll help you with the main game, you're fucked and you can't do it. Now, I also agree with the complaint that there are outfits that you can't use with the lyric system. Because as far as I am concerned, the fucking Vault suit's an outfit. There's like a lot of the things, like the suits. I was really looking forward to being able to wear heavy armor over my suit, and I can't, which makes me mad. But that's not a complaint I'm going to file with that. Going back to the skills. Do we really need a skill that says your attribute with guns increase so you can hit better? Like the perk system, I feel like people are complaining, right, that it's it's a dumbed down RPG now. Because they keep constantly dumbing down it as they're taking skills away, right? Well, here's the thing. Most people did this. Most people did this. bumped intelligence to get the maximum amount of skill points, and then leveled up shit. And by the time you was level 20, you had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I had probably 100 gun, 100 health, not 100 health, 100 gun, 100 medicine, 100 barter, 100 speech, 100 lockpick, 100 repair, all by that. While other things were barely touched. Well, likewise, you get a perk point. With that perk point, you take your perk, you buy it. You get different levels of your perk, which increases the attributes so much. Then you have to have so much of the base stat to go down into the perk list. I 100% agree with that. Gopher made a video explaining it, and I actually like it. Now, I was hesitant because it says, okay, your skills with pistols. That meant this type of pistol, this, and this. It lets you do very detailed characters. The problem is with this system is, to be a jack of all trades, you can't be a master. In Fallout 3 and New Vegas, you could be a jack of all trades and still be a master of those trades. You could be a master lockpick, a master barter, a master repair, the best charismatic guy in the world, a field medic, and a gun nut. Mind you,
I just want to
you wasn't gonna blow shit up. Now, like I said, there are a lot of things that I would say. I understand that there are, this is the traditional Fallout skills, but I like the perk system, especially allowing you to continue indefinitely forever. Eventually, you will. Now, see, if you look at this is the damn AI that pisses me off. The AI does not anticipate that I'm trying to get through this door. And that's a problem with Fallout games, but that's truly a problem with any game that has a follower. Because it's programmed to stay by you.
Let's trade some things.
It's kind of hard to program it to move. But like I said, I like the perk system. Letting you go on indefinitely, you eventually will have an overpowered 100% maxed out all your skill points acquired character.
I don't think we've met. What can I do to help?
While others say, I can't really,
sure thing.
Blah, 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 blah. When you're getting 10 to 20 upgrade points, mind you, 10 to 20 upgrade points, right? Actually, you can get more than that, I think.
Anything I can do to help out?
But just going off of that,
Can we trade a few
tag
things?
skills, your initial 3 skills that are hella high, that'll be around 30. Tag again, get that perk. That's already... Certain skills are going to be around 60 automatically. If you tag the same 3 skills twice, you're going to have skills around 60. Which means for those skills, you actually only need to put 2 levels into each. So that's 6 levels to get 30 skills 100. Easy. Then the rest are hard work. Now, all of the math and specifics, it would take some time. All I know is by the end of the game, I'm usually got hundreds and a couple of different things. Or close to it. So people sitting here saying that this is the skill system is dumbed down. I honestly think that it's become more complicated. It's on that Dark Souls tier that where your investment of your perks are important. Because in Dark Souls, there's no redo. And once you get to a certain point, it becomes very hard to increase your level. Where it costs 2 or 3 boss fights to level up. Go through an entire, like New Game Plus leveling in Dark Souls, that's, especially Dark Souls 1. Go through an entire level, kill the boss, then you have 1 level. Maybe 1 level. Next complaint people are talking about is the dialogue system. I 100% agree that this dialogue system, like Mass Effect, should not be in Fallout. If you want to have a voice protagonist, fine. I don't mind that. But the dialogue in that it gives you a brief summary, I do have a problem with that. Because specifically, there was a point in time in a mission for the SWATers that he said, the guy was explaining baseball. It's like 2 teams go out with baseball bats and beat each other to death, and the ones who always won use SWATers. And the main character, it's like, it says rules, it says a couple of other things, agree with him, like that's stupid, or rules. And it's like, What does rules mean? Say, are you gonna ask for the rule? Like, I was confused. I was honestly confused. Are you gonna ask for the rules? Are you gonna tell them the rules? So I put rules, and it basically, that's not the rules, asshole. The rules were bases, home plates, home runs, all that, bunch of shit. I liked Fallout where I knew exactly what you were going to say. Now, I know that that's harder to... Actually, it's not harder. It's lazier. It's easier to deal with, only putting a short little bit, but I prefer having all of it. The only thing is, it reduces your dialogue options, because, in all honesty, having a voice protagonist means you can have less dialogues because you have to pay him for more lines.
Make a move.
What am I doing? Oh, this is why I follow dude. Because he's the guy who actually told me about Vault 81. I believe that's what that is. Anyway, my point is, I agree the dialogue system is kind of bad. And Angry Joe points it out. Now, I agree with him. He brought up a dialogue from Fallout 1 with this Enclave officer. And... Where is it? I'm going to actually go back, because I want you to hear it. I'm not going to take the time to do it exactly as he did, but I'm going to do this and let you guys... Hold on.
Enclave here. Why isn't your video feed working? Well, your unit still doesn't appear to be operational, pal. Who is this?
I want to trade a few things.
Chosen one, huh? Well, pardon me for not blowing sunshine up your ass, but I'm a little too busy for this, Your Highness. The President of the United fucking States of America. Who do you think I was talking about? Who the fuck? Who is it? What? I should kick your fucking ass. Who is this? Oh, you're a wise guy, huh? Look, I'm tracing you right now, pal. See how smart you feel with internal security all over your freaking ass, dickhead. Also, simple acts like...
Alright, so, I don't know if that picked up very well. I'm not 100% sure that picked up as well, but that's just a glimpse of it. And I do agree with that. You know, that type of dialogue, I haven't heard that in Fallout 4. That was fucking hilarious. Now, what you couldn't see is the options that he chose, but he did react to it. One thing I will say I like about it is how if you don't choose your option soon, they'll get this like, are you gonna keep me waiting any longer? You know, that dynamic stuff. I do like that. Now, he also says, and I quote again, characters repeat lines. Characters repeat lines as you talk to them. And I agree. There have been times I've talked to characters, it's like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear this line again. But, I mean, that's a glitch, not really a game thing. So, that's something Bethesda should fix. But yeah, like I said, in terms of the speech system, yeah, I agree that some of that stuff is gone and it's horribly, horribly missed. And I want it back. And if they mod that into the console version, I would damn near use that 100%. Now we're getting close to the end here. Now, one thing I have to also bring up is power armor. Power armor is nice, but I just feel like the usefulness of power armor is kind of diminished with that power cell shit. Although I believe you can eventually craft them, but
I know it's not much, but any
point is,
I'll go easy on the price.
like I said, power armor, it's nice, but I think it came in too early. I think that the pacing was too early, but I think that what happened was they had this epic part for the demo, and it was like they have to get this in early, but damn it, we got this fucking whatchamacallit. We don't want to change it out, because if we do, then people are going to be like, why did they change it? We wanted this, so they left it, and people are like, well, we saw Deathclaw too soon. But they also, look at what they did. They gave you the means to fight that Deathclaw sooner. like understand. Like they gave you the means to fight him earlier. Now that minigun was ass. I hate miniguns usually because they don't really do a lot of damage unless you got them upgraded. But in turn, for me personally, it's just one of those like. At least, you know, they gave me power armor. It was a low level Death Claw, and you know, stuff of that nature. But I just want to end with this. People, we've been complaining. Like, I've heard so much complaining about Fallout not being this, not being that, not being this. You know, graphics of that. The engine is this, and I waited for a long time to do this, to give people time to watch and play the game, experience
Just
the
looking to
game.
trade a little.
Sure.
And now I want to voice my opinion. I will say that there are areas of this game that Bethesda has screwed up. Dialogues, I need those to go back to how they were. But combat needs to never go back to how it was. VATS is fine how it is. This new VATS is cool. Either VATS are fine with me. Inventory management and things. All of this is enjoyable for me. But we have to get past this graphics-driven society of gamers to where if we don't have good graphics, we don't want to play the game.
Let's
Get past
some
that.
things.
Sure thing.
Bethesda fix the bugs and give the game a chance first. Let the game world take you in. Now, the game world can't.
I don't know
Fine.
what you risked to get it, but
Then you have a valid point of arguing. You have a valid point of complaint. If the game world can't immerse you, I understand that. But with all that being said, this is my only thing. I'm not bashing anyone for their opinions or how they feel. I'm just saying, give this game a chance. Wait till it comes down to a price that you're willing to give it a chance at, and then play it. Borrow a friend's copy, rent it, or whatever. But give it a chance before you talk about it. Let it try and sell you on the other aspects. Because it may not be as graphically beautiful, and I used to order because it's one of the best looking games that I've ever seen.
We'll get by though. Always do.
So
I'd like to trade.
before you
some
guys
items.
complain about it, please give the game a chance. Please give it a chance. That's all I want. That's all I want you to take away from it. The 7 out of 10, I kind of feel like that was a little hard. I feel like this game is a good 8 out of 10 from what I've played. And I say 8 because I have not played the whole game. I mean, people are still annoying assholes and pricks and shit, but once I've played the game, of course, at the end, we will get my full review of the game and my final verdict. But my tentative verdict at this game is 8 out of 10. I don't give a fuck who you are. That's my opinion, and I ain't changing it. Hopefully, y'all guys develop y'all own opinions, and y'all can go out and join the Fallout community, and I will see you guys in
Let's
my
trade.
playthrough.
Sure.
TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Ciao to it. Television shows. But see y'all guys later. Bye.